the podcast where resilience is not just a concept, it's a lived experience. I'm your host, Thomas Scaria, a resilience coach, an ultra marathoner, and a relentless believer in the human spirit's ability to rise. This podcast, as a companion to my book, Resilience+RISE 26.2 Transformative Miles to Unleash Your Marathon of Life Mindset. Each episode is a raw, unfiltered dive into the stories of those who have faced life's hardest battles and emerged stronger. So, guys, today if you see me with looking very chirpy, that's because the guest has got that particular sense of aura about him, an amazing personality. Dustin, the Dean of Zen, Dean. Dustin, is a nationally certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, also a transformational coach, and a founder of Mind Maxed, an institute that deals with mental wellness and brain fitness platform built for high achieving professionals, educators, and individuals. They who look out for real lasting change. Dustin has got over 20 years of experience as a prescriber, a psychotherapist, and a professor. Dustin is also known for delivering a coaching experience that is clinically as it is compassionate. When I was introducing initially Dustin, I mentioned a word which would have gone lost in some of the ways I was saying. Yes, he's also named as the Dean of Zen by clients, as he helps people to do more than just cope. He helps them to thrive rather than just survive. So, without wasting much time, Dustin, welcome to Resilience+RISE, the podcast.
Thomas, I thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough for having me on here, and I've been so excited to come on. I've watched a lot of your other podcasts. You have one of my somebody I've been working with extensively, Jess Toft recently, and we were working on Bully Buddy together. And I'm just so excited about this opportunity and to just get to, share with you. I think so many of us, when you throw that word resilience in there, I think it's a code word for those of us that really have a passion about helping people understand how amazing life can be. And how people have to, really, I call it brain fitness, train their brain to process their life through their power and potential rather than their pain and their past. And that's what I'm really passionate about, this opportunity you gave me today. So thank you so much, Thomas.
Fantastic. So usually one of the beautiful attributes when you're talking about people is that and especially in today's world, when they look at somebody and they have a mental, oh, this guy seems to be in a pretty cool space. He's got the comics behind him. He's got some Don't Be Hard poster and he looks all chirpy, etc. But there's time and again wherein I say our deepest of purpose comes from our deepest of wounds. It's taken from Rumi, something in the lines of our deepest of wounds shines the brightest of light.
Yes.
So if you have reached to this particular point, and specifically when you have got that mantle of Dean of Zen, you have been a coach, you have been a psychotherapist. Yes, that could have been your journey. But was there something that made you to go further in allowing you to see humans not just surviving? Because we know currently, I'm not going to be talking anything about the medical system, but then yes, a lot of medical system people survive. But you mentioned the word you want them to thrive. Was there something about you, if you go back in time, that you saw that, you know what, this is my purpose and this is what I'm going to do?
Well, I think the universe has a way of, as much as we try to run from our purpose, it puts us in our purpose. I grew up in a logging community in the state of Washington in poverty. My dad was schizophrenic. My mom was borderline personality disorder. They both had substance abuse issues. I was abused in every way you can be as a child. And I just sports kind of saved me. Unfortunately, that adrenaline that came with athletics helped me kind of cope, but I never really stabilized till I was probably in my mid 30s. And what happened is, I just ran from it. I ran off adrenaline, somewhat successful in the fields I had, but coming from where I came in the mountains of Washington and in poverty, to be blessed enough to accomplish what I've accomplished as far as, a degree where I can prescribe medications and do psychotherapy and meet amazing people across the world. And it's really, lots of times I say it's like a goat flying the space shuttle to the moon. The odds of me landing where I land, that's about what it is. But to talk about that, what happened is I worked at a large facility in the Midwest. And I was originally a pharmacy tech, and then I became a nurse. And when I got out of nursing school, I had a 2-year degree instead of a 4-year degree. And this facility said, we're not going to hire the 2-year degree RNs. We're only going to hire the 4-year degree RNs. And I'd already worked at this place a long time, and there was benefits that were good, and I had a family and everything. So I couldn't really leave. But the interesting thing is they made a compromise, and they brought to me and said, if you'll do child and adolescents, I wanted to be a surgical nurse. I wanted to work in surgery at first. I'm not that big on blood and a lot of other things. And surgery, believe it or not, is more of a team effort. You're more communicating. You're the only non-sterile person in surgery. So you're kind of like the gopher, the communicator, the team leader is kind of what you are. And I really like that approach. And that's what I was excited about. But then when they stopped hiring, so when I graduated, they stopped hiring the 2-year RNs. They said, we're not doing it. The exact semester I graduated, we're only hiring 4-year RNs. But obviously being a nurse increased my salary a lot. My family needed the money, but it just so happens they said, if you're willing to work on child and adolescent psychiatry, you can have the job. And I was like, absolutely not. I from what I'd been through in growing up in Washington State, I'm sure they tried their best, but the facilities in the 80s and 90s, it was like you see in the scary movies that I would have to go to as a child and see my dad in the institutions and everything. It really scared me. So mental health was something I was scared of. But like I said, the universe has a way of putting us where we need to go. And once I took that job and I saw the compassion and I saw the care and I saw that it doesn't have to be how it was for me growing up. And also I saw that because of what I've been through, I can communicate with these people in a way that other people can't. And I understand things in a way that is not academic, but is actually active and personal. And I know what it takes. And, so that is what really, spun me to psychiatry. I ran from it, but once I embraced it, it was my destiny. And now I say there's no better job than being able to support your family while bringing people hope. And it has just advanced all the way through. Now I have my master's degree. I worked in therapy and I worked in medication management for a while. Very important, to stabilize people and get them to be able to process some of their trauma and those things. But I've advanced and moved to coaching because I want people, like I said before, to thrive rather than just survive. And the system doesn't allow that.
So here, of course, when you're saying about that, life can be a very, very hard teacher, right? And those who are, as they say, right, those who are condemned to forget their past is always condemned to see it in the future.
Yes.
So, but happened. But again, you had a choice of you could have continued the normal way of getting into psychiatry and being the nurse and continue, but you moved away from that because what you got, the element that you got into was just moving away from just a survival mode to a thriving mode for the people, and you knew that that's the benefits. So when you got into that particular space, what were the transformation that took within your own self? Because you already had a past and you would be kind of fighting the past that, you know what, this job is secure, everything seems to be working on, but now you're going to be leaping into the unknown.
Yeah. So what, I think there was a few things that happened. I had a different approach when I was helping patients on the unit that was kind of like, rather than telling them what to do, kind of like going on the journey with them. And letting them know that it could happen, that you have a lot. Don't be a victim, be a victor. You don't have to live in your trauma. You have to identify it. You have to process it. You have to accept it. But it's what happened to you. It's not who you are. And I took that and just continued to grow. And the same thing happened when I went to therapy, is with my clients. I think sometimes it almost, the way the system is set up, people are allowed 1, maybe 2 appointments that's covered a month. They come, they dump their problems, they leave. They come back, they dump their problems, they leave. They come back, they dump their problems, they leave. Okay. And it helps to get it out. I'm not saying there's need for it in a certain aspect, but I started to have the approach, and it was really, the book Happiness Trap changed my life by Dr. Russ Harris. It's based on acceptance and commitment therapy. And that's where, it doesn't say it in there, but radical acceptance is so crucial, I think. And then I kind of coined the phrase, start processing your life through your power and potential rather than your pain in your past, because you can't control that past. We only can live right here. Now, when the past starts to come up and invade right here, okay, then let's look at it. Let's process it. Let's work together to see how we can, get through what's an obstacle to where we're at right now. But we need to process our life through where we're going and where we're powerful, not where we've been, because we can't do anything about that. And that was, as I went through the process of, the years of doing therapy, I started to go, man, my notes look more like coaching than they look like therapy. Could this be a problem? And then I had to go, I'm going to pull the trigger and step out and do what I'm seeing, because my patients were getting better. Like, honestly, it's amazing the results. They get better, and by no purpose, I don't think this is the purpose, but the system doesn't allow them to get better. There needs to be kind of engagement and growth that goes quicker and that strengthens them. That's why I call it brain fitness. Is like training your brain, just like you have to train your body, right? We know that the natural function of the body is to store energy. How does it store energy? Lipids. If you just keep storing energy and storing energy, it's not healthy. You have to train it, and you train it through repetition. You do those curls, you run those marathons, you run those extra miles to optimize things, right? People get it with the body, but they think the brain is just damaged. They don't realize that the natural state of the brain is to identify threats. The natural function, I mean, of the brain is to identify threats. It keeps us alive. It's looking for what's going to hurt us. It's looking for what's bad. We've got to train it to see the beauty in us, just like we have to train the body. And the only way we do that is through repetition. I like to call it brain fitness. And a lot of my clients got better, but then when I'm looking like, okay, what code do I put this under? What therapy does this fall under? And I'm just like, no, I need to try something different.
So this element that you mentioned about brain fitness is that, okay, you got to see the better part of life. You got to see, a lot of people say you got to be positive, but then there was something which was very profound you mentioned, is that the radical acceptance, like radical forgiveness, etc. It is not just saying that I have forgiven you or I accept it. It is saying that, okay, this is what has happened. And that was beautifully that you mentioned, is that life through me, for me. People forget that life is happening to me. No, life is happening it happened for you. You have to go through that challenges of growing up. And that's has made you the person you are at this point of time. And sorry, please say.
And there's one more like crucial element that I can't leave out, is around this process, while I'm going through it, I met the most amazing woman in the world. Okay. My wife, Rashida, and she is Somali. She went through the Civil War. She has seen and gone through things that I can't, as bad as my stuff was, there's things I can't even comprehend. But she is the most positive, intellectual, hilarious person. And that really helped me to go, okay, she's a victor, not a victim. My stuff was bad and crap happened. Bad crap happened, but she learned the radical acceptance. Yeah, it does. But am I going to live every day that way? And that was another thing that was exciting. She's a life coach and has been for a significant amount of time. And that was the cool thing about leaving the therapy portion, is we actually do things together. And that journey, my journey, and seeing those things, like you said, that life happens for us, not to us. And then seeing the example of her and seeing the transformations that were going on with my patients when I was, doing inpatient nursing. And then when I became a therapist, and seeing that, wow, people can get better. And it's really about training. It's not just about, medication. When you suffer from trauma and so many things, and sometimes just natural brain chemistry changes. Like I'm never going to say like medications are needed, but what people don't realize, they don't fix it. They even you out so you have the opportunity to have the ability to thrive rather than just survive, to put the things into practice that bring joy, the coping skills and the, identifying what direction you want to go and what brings you joy. Before that, brain chemistry, you're going to be just depressed. You're going to be just anxious.
You take the medication and you can just continue in the same monologue with with yourself and the small voice in your head, and continues. So guys, one of the things which I want to mention is that I will be putting out Dustin's website and the contact details down in the comments below. So far, if you believe that there is something that has stirred within you, you want to reach out, feel free. It is an opportunity. Which comes to the next point, Dustin, is that there may be some people who may not be able to avail of whether it is about the coaching, or maybe they feel that, okay, they may be feeling that they are going through something, but they may not be really understanding that. So, if I could ask you, or people who have got their own mental challenges, I'm not talking about in depth, deep challenges, but people who have got their own struggles and things like that, what would be around 3 to 5 suggestions that, as you have been in this industry for a long time, that you would like to tell people that, hey guys, so why don't you try doing these things? What's your take on it?
Well, so first and foremost, realize there's hope, and realize that you're not alone, and that you're not broken. Your brain is just overly protecting you. Okay. It's doing what it should do. It's seeing the threats. It's seeing the negative. It's slowing you down or speeding you up in the wrong manner. So first of all, you're not broke, because I think there's a cycle that happens with people that once someone mentions mental health, because of the stigmas and because of everything else, oh no, I'm broke. I'm like, I need to be locked away. I'm gonna like hurt myself. Like, there's all these fears that come up. Not necessarily. Okay. We all have pretty scary thoughts that go on in our mind. And that's our mind trying to actually keep us alive, to be scared of things. Okay. But we have to say, no. Okay. What's beautiful about me? What's good about me? What's good about my life? So and lots of my clients hate me for this when I first do it. But one of the assignments I do is I tell them to make 50 amazing things about them that has nothing to do with anyone else. Okay. It can't be that I'm a good mother. I'm a good spouse. I have a dog that loves me. It can't be, because people can die. Okay. Bad things happen. You have to love you. And the battle is going on in your head. You have to train your brain to see the amazingness about you. And it can't be about anybody else, because then the fight or flight brain can tell you, oh no, like you just, it's that person. The only reason you're good is because of them. It has to be about you. It has to be that I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I'm
kind.
What's that?
I'm kind.
I'm kind. Yeah. I'm loving, and people will be like, what? But like, what about my kids? And that does yes, it is what makes you great. But what are those traits that matter? You're beautiful. Loving, you're kind, you're compassionate, you're strong, all those things. And so many people get so mad at me when I give them the assignment of 50, because people can find their faults, because that's the natural state of the brain.
Yeah, I was about to come to that. Yes, true. Yeah.
And that's why 90% of news is negative, because they know the psychological mindset of people is negative. So if you show them the trauma, if you show them the drama, the brain seeks out what is threatening. But what if it started to be trained to see the amazingness in the individual? And once you start to counter all that and you start to see the amazingness in you, then you're actually able to see the world as it is and see the amazingness in others too. And if people start training their brain through brain fitness, this simple exercises change people's lives. So for every threat thought that comes, you need to counter it with 3 amazing things about you. And sometimes the people, I can't access it. That's why I give them the assignment at first to do 50 amazing things. So in that moment, you could come up with at least 3, right?
Fantastic. Wow. So guys, even if you're hurt earlier, take a paper and pen and try it out. It could be life transformational. Just be mindful of the space and time. I have got one question. Now we have embarked on this amazing journey. In fact, we just had this conversation for a little more than 20 plus minutes, and I've already feel so much of empath within you coming through. And there's so much of, uh, I don't say about positiveness, but then there's so much of life. That would be a better way. And that simple, tell me 50 things about you. It's not about 50 things what you dream about or but what's your journey now on? What else is happening in your life that people should be aware? Or if it is confidential and you want to get it out in the next new year or something like that, I totally respect that. But if there's something that you want people to know, what would that be?
Well, what I'm really excited about was there's an AI bot that is actually me, the Dean of Zen, and it is affordable for people, way more affordable than therapy or anything else. It's $40 a month. You get 24/7 access to it. And everything I've learned, it's not therapy, of course, it's coaching. Yeah, that's very, important to remember that this is a coaching tool, but the assignments that I have learned. So what happened, the way this came about is I'm a gamer. I play a lot of video games and I stream, and I have a guild that I'm a leader in, this guild of other gamers. So lots of guild members would come to my streams. Well, once they found out I was a psychotherapist, the whole street, I'm there to like give my mind a rest, right? But all the streamers came in and had questions about communication and life. And, it was a safe spot for them. Lots of them didn't go to therapy or anything else. So we would, nothing confidential, but we would talk about this sort of thing and train brain fitness and all these things. And within the process, one of the individuals that is very intelligent with technology said, we need to create the Dean of Zen AI.
Beautiful.
So I spent hours going through scenarios exactly like I would, kind of almost conversations where it was I was the client and myself, and how I would answer that using the brain fitness model. It doesn't go outside. So, one of the main worries with a lot of people is that it goes out into chat and all these other things. No, this is only the Dean of Zen's approach, mindset. It's fully trained by me. It won't go outside the assignments or the process that has been trained by my approach. So that's one thing that's really exciting to me, honestly, because I know from my journey, and this is a process that worked in my own life, and I've seen it work in so many others' lives. And that's what I like about coaching. As a therapist, I can't say that. It's got to be like, okay, tell me more. No, I know what works because I've been through it. I've seen people go through it. And now I have an AI bot that you can go through it and not even at your own rate, 24/7 access. And I'm just really excited, along with Jess Toff's Bully Buddy that I've helped that is more focused on bullying. Mine is focused on, I like to call it joy optimization coach, like really helping people maximize their joy. What's that?
I love that, joy optimization. Something which people are desperately, in fact, they don't realize how far they are from joy. When I'm talking to so many people, I do realize that they've forgotten the concept of what joy is all about. But again, Dustin, this has been an amazing journey. So guys, we just heard a beautiful set of nuggets that could really help to transform your life. Whether we are talking about the 50 things you know about your own self, or whether we are talking about brain fitness, or whether we are talking about the Dean of Zen, the AI bot, all these elements, what Dustin has been working around is using this approach to help clients to break through the mental barriers, build up resilience, and unlock their potentiality professionally and emotionally.